What is up, everyone? So today we are getting back to work on the AE86 project, something I'm super excited about because, well, it's a dope car and it's definitely a dream build, and now I have the opportunity to build it, which is insane. So last video you guys saw, we dug out a bunch of parts from the inside of the car because we bought this thing as a project. So we bought it with the car filled with, well, parts, interior pieces and whatnot, and a lot of Bondo dust. So we spent a long time this morning cleaning, getting rid of all the junk parts we don't need, and organizing everything we do have in bins, and it kind of took the whole day up. But now I feel like we have a fresh slate. We finally get to see the floor pan. The car's a lot cleaner than I thought, which is really nice. And we're gonna use the rest of the day to make some more progress. And the next step of the puzzle is removing the existing drivetrain. So if you guys don't know, this isn't the original engine to the car. This is actually a 4AG 20 valve silver top. It's high revving, it's got high compression, it's got ITBs. It's dope, it sounds great. It's actually a really good heart for the 86. It really has that 86 spirit is how people describe it, but honestly, it's not the engine for me, and it's not something we're gonna be keeping, so we're gonna rip it out and, well, start from scratch. So this thing's barely in here, so that should honestly take pretty quick, but let's get to it. Everyone's gonna make fun of me for not putting on the lift, but the thing is so tall on the stock suspension, we don't even need to put on jack stands. So I don't even know what's hooked up. We haven't even been underneath this car at all.
I think it's just a transmission and half of a drive shaft.
Half of a drive, yeah, I think Amp stuck his big head under there yesterday. Oh yeah, there's half a drive shaft. Huh, I see fuel lines too. Interesting. How is this thing so clean underneath, dude?
It is pretty clean.
This thing's from New Hampshire. I don't know what brand headers these are, but they clearly are meant for this swap. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. It's a nice piece, it fit well. OBX, oh yeah. It's kind of higher end eBay. You don't need that.
Yeah?
You don't need that. Yeah, I just spit such a big game about not using jack stands.
More Tony time.
Comfort.
Alright, fine. He's kind of bougie, you know, high maintenance employee. So we didn't talk about this before, but there's like two main known models of the AE86, right? We have the GTS, then we have the SR5. So the GTS is kind of like the high-end model, right? The real desirable one, right? That's got the twin cam in it with the EFI, the disc brakes. I believe the chassis has some stitch welding on it too. It could be, I believe that might be not a fact, but I think it is. Besides that, there's some other goodies here and there between the models. But then we have the SR5, which is kind of like the base model one, where you have a carburetor, you have drum brakes in the rear, and obviously some other things about the chassis that I don't honestly know. But this car is an SR5, so it's like the more base model one. But that being said, since we're kind of replacing everything anyways, it's not really any different. The only thing we want is the GTS rear end, like the diff, and the diff, straight axle, and the ability to have disc brakes, which I actually have shoved in the back, and I forgot to mention it before, but it came with the car, which is sick. And then the gas tank, right? We want that gas tank so it has the right fuel pickup pump in it for the EFI system, which it might have been swapped out already because I do see two -6 lines sitting right here. We gotta drop it to find out, but the thing's barely in there, so it shouldn't take very long to find out if it does have the right gas tank in it. Really should have put it on the lift because I'd love for you guys to see how clean this car actually is. It looks beautiful, especially for an old ass New Hampshire car. And it looks like someone underbodied it a while ago. Get this thing out of here, almost forgot this, we always do. Nothing screams 80s more than a rubber accordion shift boot. Don't lose that. This is the most Toyota looking shifter ever.
What makes it so Toyota?
There, we just use like long skinny bent rods for shifters. It looks pretty jank, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, just Toyota. I think there's trans fluid in there.
It smells like rat poop in here a little.
That's gear oil.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Your first time?
First time.
He's new here.
I'm learning.
Probably should have did an engine leveler.
Tone, what the f?
Gave this guy one job. Here we go.
Look at the technique. Coffee in hand.
Yeah, hold on. Oh, what's the likelihood that there's trans fluid in this thing?
50%, dude.
We're gonna find out.
Yeah, you're gonna find out.
Did you lower?
Yeah.
Yeah, engine leveler would have been the actual thing to do here. I didn't realize it was such a crazy fit in here. Pull it out a little bit. I think it's wedged. The distributor, right? So the distributor sticks at the back of the head. It doesn't allow the engine to tilt back far enough so the oil pan or the trans will actually clear the rack. What a predicament. There we go, there we go, there we go.
Keep going.
Yeah, so if you're ever removing a 4HE from an 8.6 with the trans on, you definitely need an engine leveler. We're gonna have to cock this thing super far back because the engine bay is so short. Oh yeah.
Is that working?
It's working-ish.
Is it getting tight though?
It's all right. The crank pulley's cleared. Dude, look at this. Hold on, if I take the radiator mount out, we can come out sideways.
That's a really high definition shot of a rusty bolt.
I've never taken an engine out like this in my life. Look at it. We're at a 35-degree angle right now.
You imagine trying to figure out how to put this in?
With the engine leveler.
Well, yeah.
There she goes.
It's a tight fit, dude.
There we go.
That's the money shot. Jimmy Mang, another one.
Dude, I feel guilty, you know, taking the drivetrain out of this thing, but it's good because from here on, straight progress. All right, so this is the first time like actually really getting deep on that one. All right.
That was action sports, Steve, right there. Come on.
So I haven't looked at this much at all, but it looks exceptionally clean actually taking it out. Like you see the block is, you could tell it's original paint, but it looks mint. The head looks like it was almost like vapor honed, which is interesting. So I wonder if this was rebuilt. I don't think it was. It just looks really crispy. Even the trans, like even though there's a lot of dust and grime on it, the aluminum looks very, very clean. There's no grease, there's no like corrosion on it. It could potentially have extremely low miles and be a really nice setup, but it's not for me. And I know I already probably have a bunch of messages asking to buy this thing. I've already gotten a bunch of DMs about buying this drivetrain, and I already promised it to a friend super, super long ago. So I'm keeping my word, and I'm hooking them up with this for a really good deal. And we will use those funds for the next drivetrain. I get to hook a homie, so it's a win-win. This is our first time seeing the engine bay fully exposed, right? So it honestly looks great. There's no rust. What I do see, which we saw before, is it doesn't have factory tubs. Someone actually welded these in, which is nice because they did a good job. They honestly killed it on here. If you guys don't know, a lot of guys will put these in, well, one for looks, and two, that gives you more wheel clearance inside the arch. So if you have beefier tires and you need more steering angle, this works. He boxed it fully in, he stitch welded the whole thing. Honestly, I'm very happy with it, so I think these are gonna stay. I think it's a good look. Besides that, the firewall was massaged a little bit for the distributor, but that's not a big deal at all. You'll never notice that. Everything's there, everything's straight. There's no rust. Even the radiator support is decently straight. The only weird thing is the whole engine bay was underbodied. It's like textured black, you see that? Which like I don't hate because it's like, I see this thing as such an 80s car, and that's such a like an 80s car type of vibe. Right, Steve? I would say so.
Yeah, I mean, it's not bad, and it should be pretty durable, because the worst thing ever is you freshly spray the bay and you drop that 10mm socket that you never find, boom, scratched.
Chips of paint.
The worst.
Oh yeah, we've all been there. And as you guys see me do it live on camera, so I don't hate that. Maybe we'll just do it over and make it look really nice, or maybe we'll do a textured color. That'd be kind of dope. Kind of like what we did on the underneath of Sammy's car, where we did the textured purple. I don't know. Hear me out.
Sweet tubs.
Sweet tubs, bro. Sweet tubs.
Sweet tubs.
New shirt. Sweet tubs, bro.
This dude, look at it. He bought a whole box of hose clamps to get these lines on here. You see that? Oh my God. Love that.
Hate that.
We've all been there. He's been there.
He's been there. He knows nothing what he's looking at.
You been there?
I never been there.
DJ's been there.
DJ's still there.
He's still there.
Well, I guess there's no gas in the tank. There's definitely gas in it, you psychopath.
No.
Oh yeah.
That's air.
That's air. Yeah, right.
Air don't sound like that.
All right, so the big difference with the SR5 with the GTS gas tank is one, there's a spot in the hangar for like a high pressure pump, right? Instead of just like a pickup pump. And then the GTS gas tank actually has baffling in it where the SR5 doesn't. So if you're in, you know, high cornering situations like drifting or tracking, you could fuel starve. Where the GTS, less likely to.
So is this the gas tank that you want?
I'm gonna find out once I pull this thing out, yeah. Because I don't know what the hangars actually look like. Okay. All right, so it looks like I see baffling in there.
Yeah, there's definitely baffling in there.
It's not amazing,
Get a
but
light in there, Steve.
There we go. I see baffling. I mean, it's 80s baffling.
The
But
SR5 one has no baffling.
so I was told. And it looks like we have a hanger where we could actually put a high pressure pump on here, which is good. So this is what we want. Yes, sir.
Wow.
And it looks clean in there. I don't see any rust or anything, especially that it sat with gas for the last.
No, it's like mint in there.
Hell
Gas
yeah.
might be good.
You want it for the G?
Nah.
Well, that's good. Good news. Cool.
I think
Frick yeah.
93.
Let's clean this thing up, get the gas out of it, put a pump in it, we'll be good to go. All right, well now that it's open, we gotta clean this thing. So everybody, take a rag.
The next day.
All right, so now the bay is, well, it's looking clean. I don't know if you guys can tell on camera, but it has quite the transformation. This car as a shell now is looking very, I'd say, inspiring. Like I see it as such a blank slate, and now seeing it exposed, I honestly have a beautiful shell, and I couldn't be more grateful. What I did notice though is the front suspension geometry of this looks so similar to the S chassis, right? It has a rear mount rack. It's a very similar shape. It's a little thicker, and then it has like these lateral like tension arm brackets, just like the S chassis. And I know a lot of guys actually will convert the front end suspension to S chassis, which I don't really know the benefits or downfalls of doing so. I still gotta do my research on that, but it's definitely not off the table. We're probably gonna end up floor linking the rear. I still gotta do a lot more research, but the doors, these things are gonna kill me because I cannot find a clean set. I mean, like I keep saying, this car is very old, and especially in the Northeast, this stuff didn't age the best. So we were poking around our existing door, and we found out that the door handles weren't deleted in the most legit way possible. As you can see, look at the retainer and the shape for the door handle wasn't cut out and then welded a new piece in like you would expect it. They actually used panel bonds and glued a piece of metal in. Do you see it? Ant noticed this earlier and I could not believe it. I mean, I don't see it as like an unlegit way of doing it because it'd probably hold up for a very long time, but there's like a small possibility that we could break the panel bond and potentially get the door back. I'm not gonna cry if the door lock is deleted, you know, so be it, since it is a track car, because I don't know if we could deal with all of that nonsense, but we might be able to knock out the door handle. So Brian told us if we heat the panel bond up really hot, it'll crack and we could break it out. But can we do it without damaging the door? We're gonna find out.
I think it's worth a try.
Let's get the torch. Like the lock delete is literally a pink stick smeared with panel bond. I mean, it'll work. It ain't going nowhere.
It works, but is it correct? I don't know.
There's that fine line of if it works, then is it not legit? So I'm not judging this. I see him for this.
Yeah. Way easier than welding.
Hopefully I don't know. This probably won't even work, but it's worth a shot. Also, let's not warp this metal somehow. Body man Jim has no idea what he's doing right now. I don't know, Brian was real confident and was just like, just heat it up. So, I'm gonna take that and run with it. There we go, that's the angle. Oh.
Should I get an extinguisher?
Nah, I think we're good. Oh, Ant! Dude, no way! Go on the outside.
Go, pull it, push it. Oh!
No way! No! Oh my
God.
I've never been so fucking happy in my life.
That's
Oh, I feel like I just won the lottery. Dude, these doors are so hard.
Let's do the same thing on the door lock.
Come on. Nice.
Dude, I feel like, okay. I feel like I just won the Powerball lotto.
These doors are so hard to find clean.
Okay, so, I mean, it's gouged up pretty good, but you know what? Now a little bit of Bondo work, we can make it work. You know, I don't care. I don't care if this car is perfect. I want to be able to just fully enjoy this car. But if I could bolt up some handles, I'm happy. Yeah, there wasn't a lot of Bondo on it either. Just on like the edge, and then it smooths out again.
So you could probably just feather that out.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely gonna
It's gonna be some work.
Yeah, it's gonna take some skim coating and whatnot, because, dude, it looks like it was sanded with like 12 grit. But the metal seems thick enough that we could actually utilize it, so. Dude,
They really wanted that panel bond to stick on.
Oh, yeah. So, as far as the lock goes, I might just leave it. No locks. Knock the lock out. I'll leave that for the painter. The driver door has a handle, and that's what we wanted, right? Mm-hmm. If the passenger door comes out, it's a huge plus, but I won't cry if it doesn't come out, all right? Looks like there's a little bit more on this one. It didn't take much.
You can see the outline right here.
You can see it burning?
Kind of.
Yep, it's coming. It's coming. Oh, all right.
All right.
Try to push it.
Ready? I don't want to warp the door.
All right,
Alright,
yeah.
Ooh! How's it look?
Perfect.
A little
Pretty
rougher.
Same as the other side.
Yeah, he definitely went a little silly on the, you know, you're supposed to get the metal real gouged up so the panel bond has a really nice mechanical bond, right? So I don't blame him for that. I don't think the metal's, yeah, you know what it is? The only thing that would be dangerous if he grinded it too thin, so the metal was really thin, but it looks like it's fine.
Just smell like catfish.
Oh yeah.
It still has its shape too. So.
Yeah, I'll tell you what though, I mean, we were looking at a lot of 8.6 doors and they're all rough as hell. So if we just have to have a little bit of Bondo on this one, I'm not mad about it.
I'm hyped for you, Jim.
Dude, this just made my day. We actually had a big old plan today for the video and it all fell through. So I was like kind of upset and this kind of made up for it, that's for sure. So the piece that he made is actually a nice piece. Like he killed it.
Big up the man's
I mean,
work.
I would have, you know, weld through primer this, but I'm not talking shit. It worked until you put a lot of heat on it.
A little bit of heat. That was like 2 seconds where.
I'll tell you what, I'm very happy it wasn't welded though, because now we got doors, baby. Dude, that looks so nice. Look at that. The latch itself actually covers quite a bit, so it hides a lot of that jankness. Wow, it's crazy how just having that handle there makes me feel entirely different about this car. The car is basically stripped now. We still got to pull the harness out of the firewall and like the brake booster and stuff, but besides that, it is now time to spend a lot of time and money buying parts and piecing stuff together, because I mean right now we have almost nothing. I usually like to have a pile of parts before I get into a project, but this kind of came out of nowhere and I can't complain. But I know what engine I'm getting and we got to start working on that thing soon so we can get ahead of the curve, and so I'm thinking we're going to pick it up on Monday or early next week. Wait till then. I feel like a lot of guys have a really good idea of what I'm doing, but you'll find out early next week. But before I leave you, we got to do one Corolla mod to the other Corolla. It's super exciting.
What's that? I don't know what's going on.
Your boy found a replacement for the missing corner marker. Can't forget about the trusty Steed, and this missing corner marker drove me nuts. So hopefully this fits. Is it the same one first? Oh yeah, the eBay special. Love it. Right? Is it the same? I hope so. Not sleeping on the car. I just sent the paperwork out to get it registered, so we're just waiting on that. So I just feel like I need to show you guys this because this was driving me mad because the car is so nice, but it was just missing this damn corner light. Yes, it's the right one. It fits, you know, a little eBay, but for what it is, I'm pretty.
Yeah.
No, we don't talk about that. I'll tell you what, my favorite part I think about owning this car is just the awesome engagement from you guys, like all my island boys, my South African boys, my Middle Eastern boys, dude, just all over the world. This car has so much love, and I think it's amazing. Well, now I just need some bitchin' wheels, and this thing is ready to go. The ultimate winter daily for sure. So besides that, we are now at the bare foundation of a new project, and I couldn't be more excited. So before I ramble on anymore, I'm gonna end it for today. So you guys know the deal. Like, comment, subscribe. Stay excited. Stay tuned for more content. And Steve, don't run away from me.
Have a good night.